My fiancée and her friend accused me. You're cheating. I can feel it because I started working out and dressing better. I replied, what makes you think that? Then she admitted she'd been following me, checking my phone and hiring her friend to test me at the gym. When I showed her the real reason I'd been getting in shape, my doctor's orders after a health scare. I, 31, male, walked into my apartment after the gym to find my fiancée sitting at the kitchen table with her arms crossed. That look on her face, that means someone's about to have a bad time. We need to talk. Her voice could have frozen hell over. I sat down my gym bag, still catching my breath. Okay, about what? About the affair you're having. I genuinely laughed. Big mistake. You think this is funny? She shot up from the chair. I know you're cheating on me. The gym obsession, the new clothes, you're completely different. Different how? Don't play dumb with me. Every single day at that gym, new jeans, new shirts, you're on your phone constantly being all secretive about it. I'm not secretive with my phone. Yes, you are. You angle it away from me when you're using it. And you smell different now. And you're always in this weirdly good mood, which is super suspicious. And hold on, being in a good mood is suspicious? You never smiled after going to the gym before. Now you come home practically glowing. So who is she? There's literally no one. I have no idea what you're— Liar! She was at full volume now. I've been watching you. I followed you to the gym 3 times. I've seen you at that health food store on 6th. I've been going through your phone when you're sleeping. That stopped me cold. You've been doing what? And you want to know what else? She was spiraling now. Couldn't stop herself. My friend went to your gym last week, Thursday, blonde hair, wearing a purple sports bra. Do you remember her? The woman who kept trying to start conversations while I was in the middle of my circuit? Vaguely. I sent her there to test you. And you know what happened? You completely ignored her when she tried to flirt with you. You barely even talked to her. That's suspicious. A hot girl tries to talk to an engaged guy at the gym and he just walks away. You're obviously trying to stay loyal to whoever you're actually cheating with. The mental gymnastics required for this logic were genuinely impressive. So let me get this straight. You hired your friend to hit on me. I didn't hire her. Sent her to try to seduce me. And when I didn't take the bait, that's somehow proof I'm cheating? It proves you're hiding someone. Normal guys would at least talk to her. You really want to know why I've been going to the gym every day? Finally, yes, just admit it already. I pulled out my phone, opened my email, and found the one from my doctor. Set it on the table in front of her. Read it, all of it. She grabbed the phone, eyes scanning. I watched her face go from furious to confused to completely blank. My cholesterol was 267, I said quietly. Blood pressure 148/94, A1C at 6.3. My doctor sat me down 3 months ago and told me in very clear terms that if I don't make serious lifestyle changes immediately, I'm looking at heart disease before I'm 40. Possibly a heart attack. My dad dropped dead from a heart attack at 52 while mowing the lawn. I don't want to end up like that. Dead silence, the kind that feels heavy. Then why didn't you tell me about this? Not, I'm sorry. Not, are you okay? Not, I'm glad you're taking care of yourself. Just accusation like I'd somehow wronged her by not dying. I did tell you 3 months ago. Right after that doctor's appointment, I came home and said I needed to start eating healthier and asked if you would help me. You said sure and then ordered pizza for dinner that night and the next night and 3 more nights after that. Well, you should have been more clear about how serious it was. I said, and I quote, "My cholesterol is dangerously high and I need to make major changes." How much clearer could I possibly have been? You didn't say it was life or death. What part of dangerously high sounds casual to you? Don't you dare turn this around on me. This is your fault for keeping secrets. I stood up and started walking toward the bedroom. Done with this conversation. Where do you think you're going? Packing a bag. I'm staying at my brother's for a while. Oh, that's perfect. Just run away. That's not suspicious behavior at all. I pulled my duffel out of the closet and started throwing clothes into it. She followed me, still going. You can't just leave. We need to talk about this. Talk about what exactly? About how you've been stalking me, going through my phone while I sleep? Sending your friend to try to seduce me? All because I'm trying not to die young? I wasn't stalking you, I was being observant. There's a difference. You literally just admitted to following me multiple times. Only a few times, and I was right to be suspicious about the changes. I zipped the bag and headed for the door. I'm done. You're seriously leaving over one fight? This isn't one fight. You violated my privacy in every way a person can. You accused me of cheating for trying to stay alive. You set an actual trap to catch me doing something I wasn't doing. Yeah, I'm leaving. This is insane. I mean, I'm the victim here. I was just trying to protect our relationship. I stopped at the door. Protect it from what? From me living past 50. From whoever you're sneaking around with. There is no one. There has never been anyone, but clearly you'll never believe that. So, we're done. If you walk out that door, we are over. Do you hear me? Crystal clear. Goodbye. Her face went completely white, like the reality just hit her. You don't actually mean that. I mean every single word. I left. She screamed after me about what a horrible, selfish person I was. How I was throwing away 5 years like they meant nothing. How I'd regret this for the rest of my life. How no other woman would ever put up with my issues. My brother opened his front door, took one look at my face, and just grabbed my bag without asking a single question. Guest room's all yours, man. Stay as long as you need. Update 1. The text messages started basically immediately. She went through every emotion possible in like 20 texts. I'm sorry, baby. Please come home. We can work through this. I love you. You're being completely ridiculous and overdramatic about this whole thing. Fine, then stay there. See if I care. I don't need you anyway. This went on for 3 days straight. Finally agreed to meet her for coffee. Neutral location, middle of the day. Let's try to talk like actual adults. She showed up with her friend, the gym test friend. Are you kidding me right now? I said when I saw them walking together. I need emotional support, my fiancé said, sitting down across from me. After how you've been acting lately, I wasn't about to meet you alone. The friend was already giving me death stares. This was going to go great. Look, I said, trying to stay calm and reasonable. We really need to have an honest conversation about what happened. The following me around, the going through my phone, the sending your friend to test me. I was not stalking you, my fiancé interrupted. God, stop being so dramatic about everything. I was simply paying attention to concerning changes in your behavior. You followed me to multiple locations without my knowledge or consent. Her friend leaned forward, inserting herself. You have to try to understand this from her perspective, though. You completely changed, basically overnight. New wardrobe, new attitude, constantly at the gym, always smiling. Because my doctor told me to make lifestyle changes or risk dying young. Right. That's what you claim happened. I looked directly at my fiancé. Do you actually think I faked those blood test results? She wouldn't meet my eyes, just stared at her coffee cup. That was all the answer I needed. We're done here. I stood up. Sit down, my fiancé said sharply. We are not finished with this conversation. Yeah, actually we are. So you're just giving up? 5 years together and you're throwing it all away over one fight? This isn't one fight. You violated my trust and my privacy in multiple ways. And instead of apologizing, you're sitting here doubling down with your friend here to back you up. The friend stood up too. She is here actively trying to fix things and work on your relationship, and you're being completely stubborn and closed off. Do you have any idea how many guys out there would absolutely love to have a girlfriend who cares enough to make sure they're being loyal? Let me make sure I understand your logic here. She sent you to the gym to hit on me and try to seduce me while I'm engaged to her. Supposedly to test whether I would cheat, even if I just had a normal, friendly conversation with you. She would have twisted that into proof that I was cheating on her. And somehow you think that's caring and not completely controlling and toxic. My fiancé's face turned bright red. You know what? Fine, just leave then. I don't need you anyway. Perfect. I'll come by tomorrow to get the rest of my stuff around noon. You absolutely cannot do that. That is our apartment that I pay 70% of the rent for every single month. I'll be there tomorrow at noon. Don't you dare touch any of my things. I dropped cash on the table to cover my coffee and just walked out. Both of them followed me to the parking lot, my fiancé screaming the whole way about what a huge mistake I was making. how I was emotionally unavailable, how I was probably a narcissist, how no one else would ever love her the way she loved me. The irony of being called emotionally unavailable by someone who responded to health changes with stalking and accusations wasn't lost on me. Got back to my brother's place to find 23 new text messages. The pattern was consistent. Every single apology came with a "but" attached. "I'm sorry, but you should have communicated better with me. I'm sorry, but you have to admit it looks suspicious from my perspective. I'm sorry, but you're completely overreacting to this." Absolutely zero actual accountability for her actions. Update 2. Showed up at the apartment the next day at noon. Exactly like I'd said. Put my key in the lock. Didn't work. She changed the locks. I just stood there for a second processing the audacity, then pulled out my phone and called her. "My key doesn't work." "Oh, I know." She sounded way too cheerful about this. "I had them changed last night." "You can't legally do that. My name is on the lease." "So is mine. And I called the landlord yesterday and explained that you'd been making threatening statements, and I didn't feel safe with you having access to the apartment." He was super understanding about the whole situation, only charged me $150 to come out and change the locks. The casual, effortless way she just lied like it was nothing. "Where are my belongings?" "Oh, don't worry. I took care of all that for you. Packed up every single thing of yours and put it all in a storage unit over on 5th Street. I even rented it under your name so you can access it whenever you want. And I was nice enough to pay for the first month myself." "You're welcome, by the way. You went through my personal belongings and removed them from the apartment where I legally live. You said you were coming to get your stuff. I just made it easier and more convenient for you. God, you're being so ungrateful right now." "That's illegal. You can't just remove someone's property from—" "Oh, please, prove I did anything wrong. You abandoned the apartment for days. I'm a woman living alone now. I have every legal right to feel safe and change the locks. I was gone for less than a week. Well, it felt like abandonment to me. Anyway, I have to go now. The storage unit number is 247. Bye." Click. I called my cousin who does paralegal work and explained what was happening. Legally, she absolutely cannot keep you out of an apartment you're on the lease for. My cousin said, "But if you force your way back in, she can spin that as breaking and entering or make some kind of domestic violence claim. For now, just get your stuff from the storage unit and document absolutely everything. I'll draft a letter to your landlord explaining your rights." Went to the storage unit. Everything I owned had just been thrown haphazardly into boxes with zero care or organization. Clothes mixed with kitchen stuff mixed with electronics. Found my grandfather's watch collection, which he'd specifically left to me in his will, at the very bottom of a box underneath a bag of my dirty gym clothes. The leather cases that protected each watch were all scratched up and damaged. That felt intentional. I knew that was on purpose. While loading everything into my brother's truck, my phone buzzed with a text from her. "Hope you're happy with yourself. You completely destroyed our relationship and now you're literally stealing community property. I have witnesses who saw you taking things. This is theft." Didn't bother responding to that insanity. We weren't even married. There was no such thing as community property between us. 5 minutes later, "My lawyer will be in touch with you very soon about all of this." She didn't have a lawyer. She could barely afford her half of rent. My cousin's letter to the landlord did its job. He called my fiancée and told her in no uncertain terms that she had to provide me with a working key immediately or he would change the locks back himself and charge her for it. She finally gave me a key and then sent me an itemized bill via email for 1-800 in supposed damages I'd caused to the apartment. Deep scratches on kitchen counter, $400. Those existed when we moved in a year ago. Large stain on bedroom carpet, $350. From when she knocked over a full glass of red wine 6 months ago. Missing shower curtain, that was mine. I bought it and took it. Missing bath towels set, also mine. Broken kitchen chair, $150. Her sister broke that at Christmas dinner. Emotional and psychological damages to her sense of peace and safety in the home. The last one, emotional damages on an itemized bill, like it was a legitimate expense you could actually charge someone. I didn't respond to her ridiculous list, just called the landlord directly. I want to move out permanently. What's the process for that? You can either buy out the remaining months on your portion of the lease, or you can find someone to officially take over your part of it. The lease still had 4 months left. Buying out my 70% share would be around $3,200. Honestly, worth every penny just to be completely done with this nightmare. I'll buy out my portion. Okay, but both parties on the lease need to sign off on the buyout terms and agreement. He sent over the paperwork. I signed it immediately and sent it to my fiancée. She refused to sign it. Her text: "If you want out of this lease so badly, then you can pay for my half too while you're at it." That would be close to $5,000 total to get out of an apartment I wasn't even living in while she was. My reply: "Sign the buyout paperwork or we both stay on the lease for the next 4 months and both risk our credit scores if rent doesn't get paid." She called instantly, absolutely livid. "You are really going to do this? You're actually going to destroy both of our credit scores? You're the one refusing to sign reasonable buyout terms that would let us both move on. I need you to keep paying your share until I can find a roommate to replace you. That's not my problem anymore." "You are such a piece of—" I hung up. Her mother called me the next morning. I almost didn't answer but decided to get it over with. "You need to fix this situation with my daughter immediately." No hello, no how are you, just demands. There's nothing to fix. She cannot afford that apartment rent all by herself. She is struggling. Then she should find a cheaper place to live. Don't you dare be cruel about this. You are the one who left her. I left because your daughter stalked me, violated my privacy repeatedly, and accused me of cheating for trying to follow my doctor's orders and stay healthy. Everyone makes mistakes. She is family. You are supposed to forgive family members. She's not my family, not anymore. You are the coldest, most heartless person I have ever met in my entire life. You always have been. My daughter gave you 5 years of her life, and you are just throwing her away like she's garbage. Your daughter cared more about being right and in control than she did about me being alive past 50. Yes, I'm done. Have a nice day. You are going to regret this decision when you are old and completely alone. I'm willing to take that chance." Hung up and blocked the number. That opened the floodgates. Her sister started calling. Then her dad, then her aunt, even some random cousin of hers I'd met exactly one time at a family barbecue. All of them went straight to voicemail. Didn't listen to a single one. Then my fiancée decided to seriously escalate things. She filed an actual police report claiming that I had stolen property from the apartment. The report listed my grandfather's watches, my laptop, and my book collection as items I'd unlawfully removed. Got a call from a police officer a few days later asking me to come down to the station. I showed up with proof of ownership for literally everything she'd listed. My grandfather's will that specifically mentioned leaving me his watch collection. Original purchase receipts for the laptop with my name on them and a date from before I'd even started dating her. Photos from my social media from years ago clearly showing me owning and using these items. The officer reviewed everything, looking more exhausted by the minute. "Look, this is a civil matter, not criminal," he finally said. "If she wants to pursue this, she'd need to take it to small claims court. What about consequences for filing a knowingly false police report?" He gave me the look of someone who's heard that question too many times. "We would have to prove beyond doubt that she knew the report was false when she filed it. She's just going to claim she genuinely believed those items belonged to her." "It becomes," she said at that point. "So there are basically no consequences for her wasting your time and lying to the police. Welcome to how the system actually works, sir." Fantastic. While I was dealing with all of this legal mess, my fiancée decided to take things public on social media. Her post: "When you support someone unconditionally for years and they repay your love by abandoning you and stealing your belongings, some people really do show their absolute worst colors when you need them most. Praying for the strength to get through this betrayal. #staying strong, #survivor mode, #healing. The comment section was predictably split. Her friends and family were all sending support and telling her how strong she was. A few people who actually knew me were asking what really happened. She was replying to those with deliberately vague responses like, "I don't want to get into all the details publicly, but just know I'm hurting so much right now and trying to heal." My brother's wife immediately wanted me to make my own post and set the record straight with my side. My cousin shut that down hard. "Do not engage on social media at all. Anything you post publicly can potentially be used against you legally. Just document everything she's doing, but stay completely quiet." It went against every instinct I had, but I knew she was right. Then came the legal threat. Got a letter in the mail from an attorney. Based on the numerous typos and the cheap-looking letterhead, definitely not a good one. My fiancé was officially suing me for the full remaining amount of the lease, $5,000. Damages to the apartment, $1,800. The engagement ring that she still had, $2,500. Breach of promise to marry, $10,000. Emotional distress and mental anguish, $5,000. Grand total, $24,300. My cousin read through the whole thing and actually started laughing out loud. Okay, so first of all, breach of promise to marry hasn't been legally valid in this state since 1988. Second, she kept the engagement ring but wants you to pay her for it. And third, she'd have to prove actual emotional distress damages, which means medical bills, therapy receipts, that kind of documented proof. This lawyer either has no idea what they're doing or didn't listen to her story at all. Probably both. So what do I actually need to do about this? I'll write up a response that's going to make her lawyer immediately realize just how terrible her case actually is. Honestly, this feels like a scare tactic more than anything. Following through with actually taking this to court would cost her money she absolutely doesn't have. Final update. My cousin's legal response was an absolute work of art. Professional, detailed, and completely demolished every single claim in the lawsuit point by point. Apparently, her budget lawyer took one look at it and basically told my fiancé she had zero case because her sister called me trying to negotiate a settlement. "Look, my sister's willing to drop absolutely everything if you will just pay for the remaining lease." "No. Are you serious right now? You are both on that lease. Just pay it and be done with this whole mess." She had the opportunity to sign reasonable buyout terms that would have split things fairly. She refused. That's entirely her problem to deal with now, not mine. "You are seriously going to let this completely ruin both of your credit scores over pride? This isn't about pride. It's about refusing to be manipulated into paying for her choices and her consequences. She literally cannot afford that place by herself. Then she needs to move somewhere cheaper or find a roommate or get a second job. I genuinely do not care what she does. We are done." Click. The calls from her family members kept flooding in. More voicemails, more guilt trips, more attempts at manipulation. I ignored absolutely everything. And then my fiancé apparently just gave up and broke the lease entirely. Just moved out. The landlord called me sounding frustrated. "Your ex-fiancé has vacated the premises, left the keys on the kitchen counter, and the place is honestly kind of trashed. You're both still liable for the early termination penalty." "How much are we talking?" "Penalty for breaking the lease early is 2 months' worth of rent, plus additional cleaning fees for the condition she left it in. Looking at around $3,600 total split between both of you." I paid my half immediately just to be completely done with it. $1,800 to finally close this chapter. Then I got an envelope in my mailbox, no return address, just my name handwritten on the front. Inside was my engagement ring in a plastic sandwich baggie like leftover food. My brother's wife saw it and her jaw literally dropped. "Are you kidding me right now?" She kept that ring for over a month, probably wore it around, and now she sends it back to you like this, in a plastic bag. The level of petty was honestly almost impressive. I sold the ring to a jeweler the next day. Got about 60% of what I'd originally paid for it, which sucks. But I knew that was coming. Used the money to cover my portion of the lease penalty and still had a decent amount left over. But somehow the entitlement express still wasn't done pulling into the station. The gym friend, the one who'd been sent to test me, sent me a message request on social media. "Hey, I know things ended really badly between you two, but she is genuinely struggling right now. She lost the apartment. She's behind on her car payment. Her whole family is mad at her. Maybe you could help her out financially just for old time's sake. I know she's really sorry about everything that happened. I screenshot the message and sent it to my cousin. Classic guilt trip manipulation tactic, she said immediately. Do not respond to this at all. Blocked the friend. But my fiancée apparently wasn't done trying yet. She created a whole new social media account that I hadn't blocked yet and sent me a direct message. I know you probably hate me right now. I know I completely messed everything up, but I am about to lose my car and I literally have nobody else I can ask for help. I need $2,000 to catch up on payments. Please, I promise I will pay you back as soon as I can. Let me get this straight. After the stalking, the false accusations of cheating, going through my phone while I slept, sending her friend to try to seduce me, changing the apartment locks, filing a false police report, attempting to sue me for $24,000. She wanted me to just give her money. The sheer audacity was genuinely breathtaking. Blocked that account too. Her mother managed to call me from yet another new number about an hour later. If you do not help my daughter, she is going to end up homeless. That would be unfortunate. How can you possibly be this heartless? She is desperate and I'm desperate too. Desperate to move on with my life and leave all this behind. You loved her once. You were planning to marry her, and she showed me exactly what she thought of me and my health. And then she spent over a month actively trying to destroy me both legally and financially. I'm done. We're done. This conversation is done. When you are old and completely alone, you will remember that you could have been the bigger person. I'm willing to live with that possibility. Hung up and blocked that number immediately. Checked the court records through my cousin one more time. No new legal filings. The lease penalty had been paid. The ridiculous lawsuit had been dropped. Legally speaking, I was finally completely done with all of it. Had a follow-up appointment with my doctor. Blood pressure 118/76. Cholesterol 195. A1C's 5.6. Every single number back in the normal healthy range. Whatever you've been doing for the past few months, just keep doing exactly that, my doctor said. You've probably added somewhere between 10 to 15 years to your overall life expectancy with these changes. I'd lost 34 lbs total. I felt physically better than I had in years. Started seeing a therapist once a week to process everything that happened. She pointed out something during our third session that I honestly hadn't fully considered. Think about what your fiancé's immediate reaction was when she saw you making positive changes and improvements to your health. Instead of being supportive or proud or wanting to help, her very first thought was, how does this threaten me and my control? Not, how can I support him through this? Not, I'm so glad he's taking care of himself. Just immediate suspicion and need for control. That really tells you everything you need to know about who she actually is as a person. She was absolutely right. The woman I had been planning to spend the rest of my life with cared more about maintaining control over me than she did about me actually staying alive past 50. Found a new apartment for just myself. Small one-bedroom place, nothing fancy. Signing the lease completely solo felt strange after so many years of sharing space with someone. But it also felt like freedom. Ran into someone I knew from our mutual friend group at the grocery store. Hey, I heard about what actually happened between you two. Not her version of events, the real story. I just wanted to say I'm really sorry. That whole situation was completely messed up. Thanks, I appreciate that. You look really healthy though, if you don't mind me saying. Just trying my best to stay that way. We chatted for another minute about nothing important and then went our separate ways. And that's basically it. That's where this whole mess finally ends. I'm 31, single down 34 flamissures. All my blood work back in normal ranges, about to move into my own place. The person who was supposed to love me more than anyone made my literal health and survival into a reason to suspect me, stalk me, violate my privacy, and ultimately try to financially ruin me. My doctor says the lifestyle changes I've made have probably added well over a decade to my life expectancy. I dodged something way worse than a potential heart attack. I dodge spending the rest of my life with someone who would rather try to destroy me than ever admit she might have been wrong about something. The gym is still part of my daily routine. Every single workout is proof that I'm still here, still fighting, still actively choosing life over the alternative. Not for anyone else anymore, just for me. And you know what? That's more than enough.